Hey peeps, so we're doing well. So I get that in my last video I was quite, I've just listened back to it, it's like I'm quite slow talking and shit. And it's partially to do with being quite tired, to be fair. Like, it was late, I had a lot on my mind, as you can probably tell by the video. And, you know, some people might come to this conclusion that maybe I'm struggling with my mental health, and it's like, no, I'm struggling with fucking stupid people is what I'm struggling with. You know, as I sort of pointed out in the video, people that you know, don't appreciate, in this case me, right? And look, the point of me doing these videos is for you guys to better yourselves as well, right? So if you're in a situation where, sorry about that. Apparently I'm hungry, apparently. If you're in a situation if you're in a situation where you know, you've got people that are in your life and you think that they're like breadcrumbing you or taking the piss out of your good nature in one way or another, the point I'm getting at is don't put up with it. Right, because you're worth more than that. That is obviously the sort of, I did say that in the last video. It's like, if you're in that situation, and whether it's a romantic or group of friends or a specific friend in a group or whatever the case may be, right? If you're the one that's always trying to, you know, meet the compromise, and you're always putting the effort in, and you're always trying to, you know, do the necessary to keep the friendship going, and they're not doing their part, they're not doing their bit, they're not reciprocating what they're supposed to be reciprocating, you know, your best bet is just, you know, I mean, sometimes I'd say, like, you know, with my reference of being, pardon me, with my reference of being quite cutthroat with my words, which I am, and sometimes it's even accidental, like it just comes out. It's like I say, like, why did I have to say that, or why did I do that, or say that, or whatever, right? But it's like, I'm coming from the perspective out of that the majority of the people that I'm dealing with, I expect them to be adults. I expect them to be able to act like adults and see what is needed in a friendship for it to be an actual friendship or relationship, whichever the case may be, right? And I do get quite frustrated with people that, because some people do it on purpose. It's just who they are. It's just what they do. They'll literally just like breadcrumb you in a friendship or breadcrumb you in a relationship, and then you sort of take a step back and you're like, why am I putting in all the effort when they're giving me nothing? You know, that is kind of what I was trying to say in the video. Like, why give someone your all when they're giving you nothing? Like, it's not worth it. It's not. Like, it's not fair on you if you're the one putting all the effort in, and that's not a friendship. You know, and like I sort of saying, when and that the example that I used of, like, when people message you and don't message you and shit like that, and there's like a long break in between. You know, sometimes I get that we all do have our issues in life, especially these days. You know, things are a lot harder. You know, it's harder to be independent, right, with the cost of living going up, and then that excludes any personal issues that people might have. And I do get frustrated with people that, you know, if they have got an issue, right, and they don't want to talk to me about it for some reason, it's like, I'm not going to make fun of you. I'm not going to take the piss out of you. Like, I actually want to help you. But they've got to realise that it's got to take them telling me they've got such and such going on. And I get that not everyone is comfortable with that in life. You know, not everyone is comfortable with telling other people about their problems. Sometimes because they don't want to come across as maybe being really unlucky, or maybe being overburdened or something like that. I don't come from a place of like giving people pity. I just want to help them out for the most part. But it frustrates me. It really frustrates me when if I'm in that situation where I think someone's ignoring me and there is not a valid reason for it, they're just being fucking rude as far as I'm concerned. That's what I sort of said. That's what I said about that. It's like, if you've got your own issues going on, that's fine. But you should still, you know, because I've done it before. I've been in a bad place. It was just around Christmas time, and some of my friends was sort of messaging me, and I was sort of like not in a place to talk about it. So I had to kind of ready myself. But I didn't not tell them. You know, I was like, no, I've got some shit going down I need to deal with, and you know, that is what it is. But the thing is, I communicated that to them, so they respected the fact that I needed the time apart. I needed the time away from the social group and the people to deal with my own bullshit that I was going through. And sure, it might not be everyone's way to communicate with people, but I think it is important, especially, you know, communication is key in everything, whether it's relationships or friendships, you know, like intimate relationships or friendships. And also at the same time, I don't think text messaging is always necessarily the best way anyway, because, you know, people can misread things, or they can read too much into something or read too little into something and potentially get the ump with that anyway. But like I say, if I'm in that scenario where I think someone is deliberately ignoring me and deliberately what I will call being fucking rude, you know, there's only so much of that I'm going to put up with before I fuck them off, and then the shock will come, you know, from the other person. It'll be like, oh, well, I don't understand. It's like, no, you do understand. You were being a dick, and you know you were being a dick. Like, I just don't get it. Like, as you've obviously figured out, it winds me up, and I have cut a lot of friends out because that's what they've done. You know, I'm quite ride or die when it comes to that, actually, you know. It's like, I want my friends to be honest with me. I want lovers to be honest with me. I just want people to be honest. You know, it's like, there's no shame if you're going through a hard time. Like, if you're having whatever problems, there's no shame in it. We all go through problems. But we need to talk to each other about it. You know, and I'm sort of generally speaking, and like I say, even for me, I'm in that aspect kind of quite a private. I know I talk about quite a bit of shit on here and that, but when it comes to my sort of groups, and again, this is because, you know, with some groups, I've come to discover that some people, I think, actually got a kick out of hearing that I was depressed or unhappy about something. I think that they actually got a bit of a kick out of it, and it, you know, maybe excited them a little bit or something, you know, because there's something wrong with them, right? So also one of the things that makes it easier when I cut them type of people out of my life, it just makes it so much easier. So, oh yeah, so here's me going through a hard time, and then there's you sat there and you're feeling good about it. It's like, yeah, cheers, mate. Yeah, and all the times that you've had their back, that doesn't matter for shit. And again, you know, it's fucking narcissistic to the core, really. You know, they like to hear about your suffering so they can feel better about themselves and maybe get a kick out of it of some description. And yet when they were going through hard times, they want the pity party. And it's sort of like, how about no? How about you get the opportunity to miss me and my presence from your life for the rest of your life? How about that? How'd you like that then? You know, like I say, cut them out, fuck them off, done. I've got no time for people like that. I really ain't. But, you know, unfortunately some people do tolerate that shit. You know, and they will tolerate it for years and years and years. Before one day so some people just, you know, just carry on and until the end of time, like putting up with these low karmics, and it's like, what the fuck? It's like they haven't got your best interest at heart, and you know it deep down, so why the fuck are you still communicating with them? Why are you still friends with them? You know, it's fucking crazy. It doesn't make sense to me. So, but yeah, and obviously the whole filling a void part, I suppose this is a recap to actually get it to make a bit more sense, rather than me talking really slow in the other video, which I didn't take in 20 minutes to do. obviously, when it come down to filling that void, I'm talking about like the habits that we have. You know, I mean, some people choose drinking, some choose smoking, some choose substance abuse, some choose spending, some choose gambling. These are all like bad habits that we all do to kind of fill a void. You know, and for different reasons as well. And it's not that I'm trying to hoard in a load of material objects so I can feel better about myself. You might not think that, but no, like I say, I've got some other bits and pieces, and I will be showing them on the channel when they get here. They're just small bits and pieces, but that's just it. It's not like, you know, I'm going out and buying brand new cars or some shit like that. It's like, no, I don't like brand new cars anyway. They're crap. just saying. But no, this is it. It comes down to understanding why, the reasons as to why people do it. You know, like it's that short-term gratification. You know, making yourself feel better in the moment because you're having a bit of a hard time with life. You know, in this case, that void is not having a relationship with, like an intimate relationship. It's not having something that I actually value in life. I don't have that because of the people that I've met of recent. I don't think are capable of it anyway. I'm just saying. Like, I don't think they are. It's just sort of like, it's they're from one side of the tracks and I'm from the other. You know, if that makes sense. They're quite superficial, I suppose might be the word. And for me, that connection needs to be deeper than just surface. Right? It's just how I am, man. People want different things and shit like that. But that's the sort of point I was getting at. So as a result of not having a deep, meaningful connection with someone, I find myself in that situation of, you know, making myself feel better by buying stuff. It is an addiction and it is wrong, you know. It's that thing. It's that feeling you get as well afterwards. Like once you've got it, or you've received like the item or whatever it was you bought. You look at it and, you know, similar to when I say something that I later regret. Sort of like, what the fuck did I do that for? But that's a kind of encompassing. I know I did go a bit deeper in the other video on that one. But these are the things that I was just trying to, you know, sort of point out, the sort of stuff that we do go through as people, as humans, for the most part. You know, they're coping mechanisms. They're exactly that. And in the same, right, in the same that there's a lot of, you know, women out there who are encouraged by society to go out and be promiscuous and to just, yeah, live free and do as you like and all these things. Well, look, it's fine. What I'm saying is there's consequences for that in terms of relationships. If you want a deep, meaningful connection with someone and say they have a similar view and mindset to what I have on relationships, it's like, if you've got a high body count, I'm already going to probably not really consider you, or not, should I say, not really consider them for a long-term relationship because their ability to pair bond will be not all that. You know, and like some people will argue this and be like, oh yeah, you know. But realistically, when you look at the facts and the studies, it does show it to be a thing. And so if they've been living this wild life and promiscuity has been promoted well and truly, and, you know, that they've got a body count that's in, I mean, you can't really say like double figures. Double figures could be 10, right? All right, some people say 7 people, some people say 10. But if you're talking like 20, like even 20, I think is quite high. But 20 up, right, you got to seriously consider as to whether that person's, you know, going to be able to, you know, be in that situation of a long-term committed relationship and stay on the same level, because it's not what they're used to. I'm just saying, you know. So even in that sort of circumstance, you know, there's a high chance that I would probably reject someone like that, to be fair, like from a relationship. And like I say, this is all stuff that has been promoted in society, and it's sort of like, And we sit here and we wonder why relationships don't work anymore. It's like, really? Well, look at what people have been told from the get-go. Look at what they've been convinced of, you know. And it's no wonder that, you know, these girls do it for their personal validation, where it is a thing, right? And that excludes the ones that have been put in situations whereas they've been used for that, you know, purposely. Whether you want to call it pimped out or not is a different thing, you know, because sometimes it's voluntarily, other times it's not so voluntarily, you know. It's still a thing either way. And it does break them psychologically. It does, it fucks with them. And this is where we're sort of at, whereas, you know, you can sit back and you can blame girl power advocacy all you want. It doesn't necessarily have to be the case. I'm just saying, you know. And a lot of it as well, changing the subject from that, you know, like, because that's obviously like short-term gratification for the sake of them making themselves feel better, than the long-term consequences is they're not going to be able to pair bond, they're not going to be able to do long-term relationships because they're just not used to it, they're just not. But one of the things that kept on cropping up on my YouTube feed, and it is more to do with like horoscopes and stuff like that. It's been that thing of I'm just trying to find a good example round about now. Oh my days. It's because I'm on the wrong bloody thing, that's why. I was actually on YouTube. Get off. What's going on here? Right, get to that one. There we go. But it was just this thing of like, I think what doesn't help is, for the most part, all the tarot stuff and horoscopes, that's mostly women orientated, right? By that I mean it's mostly women that are doing it. All the videos and like the little posts and stuff like that. And every now and then you'll get one crop up and I just sit back and I think, my God, really? And there was actually a thing that come out on the news not too long ago about astrologers and stuff like that being some, and I know there's a level of irony with me saying it, but them being some of the most narcissistic people out there, you know. Where are these little posts? Come on, just give me an example, please. Just give me an example. Come on, just one. No, it's not gonna do it. But no, it's that thing of like, you know, someone will put a post up about what is it? The one I've seen has been like something to pardon me, something to do with someone doing some sort of witchcraft or spellcraft or some shit, and then yada yada yada, going on about the haters and all that. Like I'm assuming this person was talking about the haters on her channel or some shit. And you get a lot of people that are just, you know, just jumping on the bandwagon, and it's, oh yeah, it's all love and light and all blah 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 and all, and it's like, it's not though, is it? You know, it's not all love and light, and it's not all a case of well the stuff that they come out with. And again, it's that thing. Whereas I've sort of noticed there's a lot more of that narcissism within like the study was saying, like astrologers and astronomers, and you know, maybe I could argue for tarot readers to a degree, because again, some of them, you know, they want to be able to tell people about their lives, but I don't mean tell them in a good way. I mean tell them I mean they do, but at the same time I think they're not being totally genuine about it. You know, like I said, you do a horoscope reading and it's like 800 million people, but it's going to apply to one person. And like, I say that, and then somebody's going to come up. Now that I've said that, something else is going to come up in that, and I'm just going to have to shut up and eat humble pie again. And that's getting real annoying as well. But no, it's a thing, right? It is a thing. And so is that thing of it's that reference, the the channel, he's changed his channel name again, Societal Narcissism. I suggest you check it out. He's spoken a lot about this. One of the things that Ollie said, in fact, was, you know, when the narcissist starts talking about God's going to punish you because you've done this, that or the other, they're not referring to God as in being a higher being, a higher power, deity, supreme being or something like that. No, they think themselves as being God, and then any bad shit that happens to you is a result, a direct a direct result of going against the other person with potential for narcissistic personality disorder. So it's not like, oh yeah, God's punishing you, as they see it as, no, I'm punishing you because, and you've got to do what God says because, right? It's a very, very fine line, that one. And I know it might upset a few people, especially if you have got narcissistic personality disorder, but you know I'm fucking right, and you know what, he's right as well. I'm just saying. But yeah, and it does come down to that thing of them wanting to kind of have some sort of control over your life. Because, you know, like I was explaining about some people that get a kick out of if you're going through a depressive time, you know, they'll get a kick out of it. It's the same sort of thing. That in itself is a sense of narcissism. I'm just saying. So, but yeah, anyway, look, I'm going to wrap this one up. 21:22. And thank you all for listening. Obviously, you can see I'm a bit faster today. I'm not as tired as I was last night. So I did come up with some good ones, I think. Anyway, thanks all for watching. Till the next one. Enjoy the rest of the weekend. And till the next one, stay cool, stay free. Peace out.